each school board meeting, staff members make presentations that highlight academic programs in the York County School Division. In January 2013, Yorktown Elementary School students and staff spoke to the board about their Hurricane Alert eMission from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
We are very pleased to have a team from Yorktown Elementary here this evening to share information with us about eMission. And as we're going to hear tonight, eMission is a student-centered, team-based, interactive educational experience that uses scientifically accurate data to solve problems. And you're going to hear about how the class assembles as an emergency response team and connects via technology to the flight director at Mission Control. The teams work together with Mission Control to handle the problem situation as the scenario unfolds. And you're going to hear about how every few minutes new data is received via satellite and the teams perform calculations, create graphs, and assess the situation. The expert teams in the class then make recommendations to Mission Control based on their analysis. So we are pleased to welcome the following individuals: Assistant Principal Beth Pell, STEM Committee Chair Barbara Westland, 5th grade teacher Kathy Leonards, and students Reina Mejia, Ethan Rivera, and Caitlin Kielman. So welcome you all.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Williams. We're happy to be with you this evening to share an example of the type of experiences students at Yorktown Math Science and Technology Magna are provided. My name is Beth Pell, and I'm one of the assistant principals at Yorktown Elementary School. Science, technology, engineering, and math education, commonly known as STEM, focuses on the skills that are required, valued, and rewarded in the global economy. STEM utilizes solid instructional practices to integrate critical thinking skills, problem solving, and collaboration. These lessons promote experiments, analysis, and adjustments which encourage creativity and originality, the cornerstones of achievement. The Yorktown faculty has embraced STEM as an essential to our continued success as a magnet school. We have engaged in ongoing STEM professional development activities and established a STEM advisory board and committee consisting of members from our school, other members from York County School Division, as well as community advisors from NASA, Virginia Tech, and the Children's Engineering Council. Barbara Westland serves as a STEM committee chairperson and will describe a typical STEM lesson.
If you walk into a classroom that is conducting a STEM lesson, you are going to hear learning, you're going to see collaborative work, you're going to see some problem solving going on. A normal classroom, project-based learning generally focuses on one area of the curriculum and very often mirrors a model that a teacher may have done for the students. STEM education, a lesson is intentionally integrated across two or more of the STEM disciplines of science, technology, engineering, and math. And we also frequently bring in areas of language arts as well as art into STEM lessons. Students complete STEM lessons from design briefs. Some of these examples that you'll see were made from design briefs. A design brief provides background information, the criteria that is essential for a successful project, the list of materials and tools that a student uses for the design. It may also include pages for the students to evaluate their projects. The design brief is then kept for the year in the student's design STEM notebook. Mrs. Kathleen Leonards and her students, Reina Mejia, Caitlin Kielman, and Ethan Rivera, will describe a recent STEM lesson conducted in their classroom.
eMissions are simulated situations in which students become active participants in problem solving in a real-life natural event. The program is presented by the Challenger Learning Center at Wheeling Jesuit University. This is one of the Challenger Learning Center sites that arose from the desire of family members of the Challenger crew to inspire teachers and learners. Each mission includes pre-mission plans and practice for students to prepare for mission day. This preparation was done over 3 weeks. On mission day, established teams connect via Skype with the mission commander. Our class participated in the Hurricane Alert mission, where teams of students became meteorologists in the National Hurricane Center and tracked hurricanes. Data advisories provided to students were from historical data of actual hurricanes. Teams were responsible for gathering data via a live feed with the Challenger Learning Center, which presented as the National Hurricane Center and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association. Everything students did to prepare for the mission and what they did during the mission was authentic and relevant to their decision-making about the storms they were tracking. Each team, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo, had team members with specific jobs. Completion of each job was critical to providing the lead meteorologist accurate information to present to the mission commander via Skype.
As each advisory came in on the computer monitor, the lead meteorologist had to record data on the data sheet that included the time of the advisory, the latitude and longitude coordinates of the storm, and the speed of the storm in knots. As storms were tracked and named by the team, the lead meteorologist had to update the storm chart to ensure that names of storms were not duplicated. The lead meteorologist received data from the team in order to make reports to the mission commander for every advisory. The report included where the storm was currently located, what category, time to landfall, and recommendations for the local population.
Okay, copy that.
The forecast specialist had to convert knots to miles per hour and record on the data chart. Using data given, the forecast specialist had to determine the category of the storm and pass this to the lead meteorologist. The forecast specialist graphed the air pressure and wind speed data that came in for every advisory. The forecast specialist kept the lead meteorologist informed of any changes in storm classification. This was done for every advisory.
The zone predictors plotted on a large map the location of the storm using latitude and longitude coordinates, and then calculated directional speed of the storm. Using the cone of uncertainty, the zone predictor had to determine the places that the storm would likely make landfall. This data was recorded on the data sheet and then passed to the ETA advisor. This was repeated for each advisory. The ETA advisor assisted the zone predictor with plotting the storm on the map. Once the zone predictor identified areas of the landfall, the ETA advisor would measure distance from current location to closest landfall, and then calculate the ETA of the storm. The ETA advisor also determined whether a watch or warning should be issued. This information was given to lead meteorologist to report to the mission commander. This was repeated for each advisory.
That was fun.
Have y'all finished your draw? Each team had a laptop logged into mission control using the team password given by the mission commander. Advisories were received by each team every 5 to 7 minutes. Once the advisories came in, the team went into action to complete the jobs described above. There was a chat box on the webpage where teams could ask questions or make comments to the mission commander.
Oh, you got your second advisory.
Our mission commander was Commander Maltese. The lead meteorologist for each team would prepare the report from information received from team members and then present via Skype video conference. Commander Maltese would receive the information and would confirm or question the lead meteorologist for clarification. At the end of the mission, Commander Maltese debriefed the class by showing them the storms they were actually tracking. They included Katrina, Hugo, and Ivan.
Go ahead, Charlie.
The actual mission was a culmination of 3 weeks of preparation. During the reading period, reading groups would read and discuss information about hurricanes in the articles provided by the Challenger Learning Center. These tied in with one of our Scott Forsman selections, which focused on using graphic sources while reading. Students used latitude and longitude coordinates to track the location of each storm as it moved. Elapsed time, multiplication, and division math skills were needed. Lead meteorologists had to orally present the data to the mission commander, and above all, students had to work cooperatively and efficiently to get the job done. Each academic skill was very relevant to the outcome, which made this a powerful learning activity.
In closing, this activity was a great success. Ironically, our first attempt at this mission was delayed due to Hurricane Sandy. This was a purposeful and planned activity that integrated many different standards of learning. Our students were fully engaged in an authentic learning experience. There was not a dull moment in the classroom. They took pride in work well done. They learned about good teamwork, and they realized how their job performance affected others. This spring, Mrs. Lenart's class plans to fly another eMission, this time Operation Montserrat.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
May I hop in with a question? Students, if one of you can step to the microphone and answer. And my question is, okay, obviously we've got certain science content that we want you all to learn. And so what did you like best about learning what you did through this type of activity as opposed to another way of learning the material? What did you like best about it?
I think that it was fun to do, and that we, I think that like the longitude and latitude coordinates and tracking the hurricane and the cone of uncertainty, like that. Just kind of.
Okay, that's helpful. Good.
Very good.
Well, thank you. I'm impressed with that, and I just also want to commend the staff members because I know that this doesn't just happen. Obviously, the student engagement means the students are going to learn more and remember it longer, but that doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of work in terms of, I think the phrase purposeful was mentioned. It's very purposeful in terms of we want students to learn certain content and skills, but obviously incredibly engaging. So well done, everyone.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.